Creality Raptor Pro 3D Scanner Review. Who actually needs this? I get why you're hesitant. You've probably seen cheap desktop scanners that promise the world but deliver blurry scans and endless frustration. The kind that works fine on a YouTube demo but falls apart when you try to digitize a real car part or a machined aluminum bracket. That's the trap this category falls into. Most budget 3D scanners look impressive until you actually need them to work. The Creality Raptor Pro isn't cheap, but it's not a luxury purchase either. It sits in a sweet spot where the headline specs actually matter in real projects. If you're restoring a classic car, reverse engineering a broken component, or doing quality control in a small workshop, this scanner could save you weeks of guesswork. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What sets this apart isn't just the 0.02mm accuracy or the 22+7 blue laser setup, it's the fact that it's designed to stay stable while you're scanning. The anti-shaking design uses one-shot 3D imaging, which means it captures a full scan in under a second. That's huge when you're trying to digitize something that's awkward to hold still, like a suspension upright or a complex housing. Most scanners in this range stumble on vibration or slow frame rates, but the Raptor Pro keeps up at up to 60 frames per second. That speed isn't just for show, it means fewer retakes and less frustration when you're working under a car or on a tight deadline. The software side is where a lot of scanners cut corners. Creality didn't just slap together a basic interface. Their scan software supports seamless integration with CAD tools, which is critical if you're planning to modify or reproduce parts. You can export scans directly into Fusion 360 or SolidWorks without wrestling with file formats. That's not something you'll find on a $300 handheld scanner. It's the kind of feature that turns a 3D scanner from a toy into a real engineering tool. Now, let's talk about who this is not for. If you're a hobbyist scanning figurines or small household objects, you're better off with something simpler and cheaper. The Raptor Pro is overkill for that. It's heavy enough that you'll want a tripod or a stable surface, and the learning curve is steeper than a basic photogrammetry app. This scanner is built for people who need reliable, high-precision scans for work engineers, machinists, restorers, or anyone who can't afford to redo a scan because the edges came out fuzzy. One thing that surprised me is how well it handles reflective surfaces. A lot of scanners struggle with shiny metal or polished plastic, but the Raptor Pro uses structured blue laser lines that cut through glare better than most. That's a big deal if you're scanning engine parts or tooling. Still, it's not perfect. You'll still need to apply a temporary matte spray on highly reflective surfaces, and that adds an extra step. But compared to other scanners in this price range, it's a minor inconvenience. The computer requirements are worth mentioning too. This isn't a plug-and-play device. You'll need a decent GPU. Creality recommends at least an NVIDIA GTX 1060 or better and a solid processor to handle the scan data. If your laptop is more than a few years old, you might run into slowdowns during processing. That's not a flaw in the scanner itself, but it's a real-world consideration that a lot of buyers overlook. So where does the value actually come from? It's not in the raw specs alone, it's in the combination of speed, stability, and software integration. If you're scanning small to medium-sized parts with complex geometry, this scanner will save you time and headaches. If you're trying to scan large objects or need sub-0.1 mm precision for metrology work, you might still need something more specialized. But for most automotive and engineering applications, the Raptor Pro hits the mark without breaking the bank. If you've been burned by cheap scanners before, this is the one that actually feels like a smart buy. It's not perfect, but it's the closest thing to a workhorse scanner in its class. Check it out using the link in the description if you want to see the full specs and decide for yourself.